Move on, lads! Won't take long to give him a decent burial, sir.
We'll be in Liverpool in 24 hours. We'll bury him ashore.
God rest their souls. What'd they die on?
Salt water. Fished him out of the Irish Sea yesterday.
What ship were they from?
No idea. Must have gone down fast. There was hardly any flotsam.
That sea out there's becoming a graveyard. That's the second ship this month.
Not good enough, Onedin. You left here promising to return with a cargo of Black Sea grain.
I was forced to turn back. You know that.
And I know why. You deliberately ignored an Admiralty notice. In consequence of which you've come back with a ruined cargo.
It's the Masala wine.
1/6 of your potential cargo. You'll have barely enough left to pay off your crew.
Well, I've still 5 other ships trading. I mean, there's profit there.
Yes, but not here in Liverpool. There are 2 in Australia, and the other 3 are spread between South America and the African coast. They'll not be returning for months.
Oh, but when they do...
It'll be too late. Now, you made a promise, Onedin, and that promise has to be honored here and now. Your repayment of capital on your loan comes to £1,700.
Well, I can't give you what I haven't got. I need time, man.
Look, on the strength of your promise, I told my directors that this money would be paid. Now, you may break your promises, but I'll not break mine.
Mr. Harris, have you sold the other Onedin line assets, then?
Yeah, most of them, yes, I had to. But even so, your indebtedness still stands at £68,000.
Is that all?
Now, look, Onedin, I'm not a hard man. I could distrain the Charlotte roads here and now. But there is another way. Look, I've held off on those 2 houses your company owns. I've had them valued.
I know you have.
Altogether, they just about fetch the 1,700.
Right, then. Miss Gaunt, my daughter Charlotte can move in with me. I've already warned them of that, but you can't sell Robert's house. I mean, I can't take the roof away from his head again.
Well, there's a perfectly good apartment above that store of his. And he'll be no longer paying rent for the house, so you'll be doing him a favor.
I doubt if he'll see it that way.
Whether he does or not, I'm putting them on the market.
Look, delay it. 24 hours.
No.
I've had a note from his sister. The Fraser line have got a contract that they can't meet. Now, she's offered it to me.
Oh?
Oh, sounds a profitable one. It's iron plates to the Belfast shipyards.
I suggest you ask around before you take that contract, Onedin. The for sale boards go up.
Move here. It's definite, then.
I am afraid that's the long and the short of it, Miss Gaunt.
Oh, well, I'm glad it's settled. At least Charlotte will see more of you. So will I.
So, Charlotte won't mind, eh?
No, not a bit.
Oh, good, good.
I'm sorry things are going so badly for you, James. I wish there was something I could do to help.
Now, a housekeeper. Now, you must engage a housekeeper.
I thought you were trying to save money. If people are going to talk, they will, housekeeper or no. I'm sure idle gossip wouldn't worry me, nor you. Unless, of course, there were some substance in it.
Aye, well, I must get myself to the exchange. I want to check some freight prices with Sister Elizabeth before I see her. You say Charlotte's at a party, then?
Do you know, I do believe that Christmas falls on Friday this year.
A what?
Nothing. You're not the only one who can change the subject.
Ah. No, well, right then, well, I'll see you later then, Miss Gaunt, eh? You're not going to sea in that thing, are you?
There's nothing wrong with the old Quincy, Captain Onedin.
Nothing wrong. I'd rather go to see in an old bathtub with the plug removed. When'd you last get a survey?
You thinking of taking out a gambling insurance policy on her?
Me? Never. You know me better than that, Captain Palmer.
Well, there's many that would. You'd be surprised at the coves who come and look her over, and then go scuttling off to lay money on her sinking on her next voyage.
Betting on sinking ships, seamen drowning. No friends of mine.
Acquaintances, then.
What?
Mr. Dunwoody is one of the regulars.
My sister's clerk.
He came over this morning to look us over. He's often around, looking for a good bet. I don't think he liked the look of us, as a matter of fact.
Well, you're no great example of seaworthiness, are you? And a cargo of iron plates?
Don't worry about us, Captain Onedin. We'll be in Belfast tomorrow night. Safe as houses. He's a fine one to criticize the success he's made of his business.
You can be quite sure of your cargo arriving on time, Mr. Sampson. The Mercury is a fine, fast steamer.
But at 29 shillings a ton.
Oh, you won't get a better rate than that. Well, that's a fine rate.
You mean you'll be sailing with a half-empty ship?
She doesn't sail for another 10 days, and there are other customers.
And other ships. Well, good day to you, Mr. Bullock. Morning, Onedin. Didn't know you'd returned.
Ah, got in early this morning.
Profitable trip, I trust?
No?
I'm sorry.
So am I. The rate for these iron plates is exceptionally high, isn't it?
You're not thinking of taking on a cargo, are you, Captain?
No, possibly.
Oh, you'd be well advised to decline that contract.
Here, now, you're the second person that's warned me off, Sampson.
And I won't be the last, I dare say.
So what's peculiar about this particular cargo?
You mean you don't know?
Oh, what, man?
5 ships. 5 ships executing that very contract have gone down over the last 6 months. Lost with all hands.
There'll always be poor seamanship, unseaworthy ships. Saw one just now. Now you can see the risk that she was running.
The De Quincy
Aye, regular bathtub now. The Charlotte Rose on the other
is
hand.
a fine ship. Some of the others were too. And now they're at the bottom of the Irish Sea. Take my advice, Onedin. Decline the contract.
Sweet lass of Richmond Hill, sweet lass of Richmond Hill, I crowns resign to call thee mine, sweet lass of Richmond Hill.
Come on, let's have a shanty.
No more.
Samuel, can't you think of anything but the sea?
No, it's the only life, isn't it? Well, for a man, anyway. William, I can't think why you left nautical school. Anyway, I thought you liked the sea.
I do. Well, rather, I like ships. I was very good at navigation, but when it came to seamanship and climbing the rigging in heavy seas, well, I realised I'd never be a good sailor. That's when my ma agreed to send me to mathematical school.
I wish I'd gone to your nautical school instead of this commercial institute. It's just bookkeeping and figures all day. It's so boring.
Figures aren't boring.
They are. If you really want to go to sea, Samuel, why didn't you speak to my father?
Perhaps I will. No, there's no use. My father set his heart on me going into trade.
But surely when he realises...
Oh, he doesn't want to know about it. Do you know, I even have to...
To what?
Well, I have a collection of model ships. I made some of them myself. And if he ever finds out about it...
That's ridiculous.
Yes. Nevertheless, I still have to keep them secret. He'd be furious. Say I was wasting my time. Should be concentrating on my studies.
Well, show them to us.
Do you really want to see them?
Of course. Where do you keep them?
In the attic over the shop. My parents never go up there, you see.
Shall we go and have a look? All right, William?
All right, come on. Will it take us long, Samuel?
No, not more than half an hour.
I think it's an excellent contract. 8 cargoes of iron plates for shipbuilding. Liverpool to Belfast. 10 weeks, good work for the Charlotte Roads.
10 weeks?
Well, a week each round trip and a little to spare.
We'll do it faster than that, I think.
That's up to you, but are you interested?
Well, the terms seem reasonable enough. What do you want for it, eh?
10% of your profits.
Huh?
Well, as I obtained the contract, I think you ought to have a little for signing it.
Well, then why don't you take it?
We've more than enough on our hands at the moment. And besides, James, we are a family. We must help each other out when in difficulties.
That was so generous of you. Nothing to do with those 5 ships sinking while fulfilling similar contracts, I suppose?
James, what do you take me for? They were old hulks, every one of them. It's amazing they lasted as long as they did.
Everyone a hulk, huh?
So I've been told. Look, I am rather short of time. Will you take it or not?
Well, as it's family. Just to help you out, eh?
Good. Shall we sign immediately then?
Right then.
By the way, is it true your house may be coming up for sale?
Why do you ask?
Well, as a matter of fact, it was Dunwoody who inquired.
Your clerk?
Yes, he seems to have inherited a little money. And he asked if there were any houses for sale about the size and position of yours.
He what?
It was only an inquiry.
Oh. Right, well, then, goodbye, sister. I'll see Dunwoody on the way out.
He meant no harm, James.
Yes, I'll deal with this immediately.
Oh, goodbye, sir.
Ah, Dunwoody. I hear you've inherited a little money.
Well, not exactly.
May one ask how much?
Come, Mr. Onedin, sir, that is rather private.
Make it on those gambling policies, did you?
I beg your pardon, sir?
I mean betting on seamen drowning. I'd never have thought you'd have gone in for that. It's a filthy business.
It's only a very small amount, sir, and over a great number of years. It's a common practice.
Yes, well, not in my book, it isn't. I'd rather give my house to the devil than exchange it for money made that way. What's more, any house that you may acquire, I hope it rots. Falls on you. Well, goodbye, Mr. Dunwoody.
And with a steamship of this size, carrying a cargo of 2,000 tons and at a speed of 15 knots, you would gain the attention of the whole maritime world. The most up-to-date equipment for stowage would be installed. And all the... Mrs. Fraser, you promised to listen to my proposals.
I can assure you, Mr. Macaulay, I have heard every word you've said.
I spent a good deal of time and money having these plans prepared.
Not Fraser money, I trust.
Well, would it matter?
Most certainly it would. The Fraser yard built to the customer's specifications, not our own. Or do you have a client for that?
Once she's built, we'd have ship owners lining up for her, and we'd sell her to the highest bidder.
And if there are no bidders, Mr. Macaulay, what then?
Well, the Fraser yard could sell her to the Fraser line.
That is not the way I do business.
Well, it's high time you changed your methods. You can't expect clients to come knocking on your door every day of the week. You got to speculate to accumulate, my girl.
I'll thank you not to address me in that fashion, sir. And for your information, I intend to do as little speculating with your money as is possible.
Now, you listen to me. My business is making money any way I can. I've never turned down a chance yet, and I don't intend to start now.
Will you please go?
All right. But you'll come round to my way of thinking, even though you might take some persuading. Oh, incidentally, I'm glad to see that you do take my advice sometimes. I told you that Belfast contract was unprofitable. Dunwoody says you're not going ahead with it.
No. No, I've handed it over to my brother.
To James Onedin? No, that's rich. Oh, my word. That really is rich.
You didn't even have the decency or the common courtesy to come round and tell us in person.
No, he would have had to face us, that's why.
You do more for your seamen than you do for your own kin.
Luke, if I'd had the time, I would have come round. I didn't know Harris was going to act so quickly.
But you knew that he was going to sell both the houses right enough. You knew, he knew.
And nobody bothered to tell us.
I said I'm sorry.
Sorry will not put a roof over our heads.
Well, I had no option. I did everything I could.
It seems to me that you did precious little.
Well, look, how many more times have I got to tell you? I haven't got any money.
James, you have ships. You've got 6 ships. You could have sold one of those.
What, sell one of my ships just to keep a roof over your head because you don't choose to live above the shop?
I am not setting foot in that place, and that's flat.
Well, then you'd better start looking for another one. Quickly.
Robert, you can tell that brother of yours I'll never speak to him again as long as I live.
I think it would be better if I followed her example.
$1,400? That's a lot of money, Robert.
Nevertheless, that is what the agents are asking for my house. £1,400.
I'll just take these papers over to the exchange, madam.
Oh, very well.
He really is so self-effacing, that man. I'd quite forgotten that he was here.
Don't worry, he's no gossip.
Good. Now, when can you let me have your draft?
I haven't said I'd lend you any money yet.
Elizabeth.
Look, I may soon need every penny I can lay my hands on.
I'm relying on you.
And who do I turn to if I need money? Not you. Or James, for that matter.
No, he wouldn't give you the time of day. But I need the money to buy that house. All right, if you want it back, I'll raise a mortgage. But I do need that money.
Oh, Robert, you're impossible.
Hey, you there.
Captain Onedin, how very nice it is to see you. May I invite you to
Aren't
share...
you the mate of the De Quincy?
Yeah, I was under the Quincy. Why?
So she sailed without you then?
Oh, yeah, well, you see, I had this most terrible twist cut just before we sailed. And Captain Palmer insisted that I sign myself off.
I don't see what's so funny.
Oh, come on, Arthur. Will you not have a drink with me, huh? Oh, it's me savings. I've just drawn out all me savings. Will you come inside, sir?
Now, you be careful of that hat box, my boy. Oh, Mr. Williams, would you put that trunk just up on the landing, and I'll sort out where everything goes later on. Oh, come on, Charlotte, cheer up. I thought you were looking forward to living here.
Oh, I am. But you must admit, it does seem a bit bleak.
It's like one of these ships. Never mind, we'll soon brighten it up. Which room do you want? Got plenty to choose from here.
Can I have the big one at the top?
Oh, but love, that's where the servants are.
Oh, come on, Letty. It's so bright and sunny. And from the window, I can see all the ships coming and going.
Oh, well, all right.
Do you think Papa will agree?
Agree? Well, he'll just have to, won't he? Come on, let's go up and have a look at it.
Come along in, Mr. Harris. Come along. You know my wife, of course.
Oh, we've met on many occasions. Good day to you, Mrs. Onedin.
Mr. Harris, your wife is well, I trust?
Oh, yes, very well, thank you. And as active as ever on her committees.
You'll take some sherry, of course?
No, thank you. Urgent business, your note said?
Yes, indeed, urgent, so I'll come straight to the point. You have put up my house for sale.
Yes, a regrettable decision, but forced upon me by circumstance.
Quite so, and you are asking the exorbitant price of £1,400.
Yes, that is so.
Good. Then £1,400 it shall be.
I beg your pardon?
It's quite simple, Mr. Harris. We are going to buy our house from you.
Oh. Oh, dear, well, I'm afraid that isn't possible.
Not possible? I don't understand.
I wish you had told me this earlier. You see, unfortunately, the house is already sold.
But that's impossible. The board only went up yesterday.
Well, precisely. No one can have looked over the house yet, so how can it be sold?
Well, the buyer had previous knowledge of the house. He said he had no need to see it.
But to have sold it so quickly, without us knowing.
Robert, you know who I think it is? He always says what a charming house it would be to live in.
Macaulay.
Oh, no, I can assure you it is not Mr. Macaulay. Although I believe you do know the man, Mr. Dunwoody.
My sister's clerk.
Oh, Mrs. Fraser's chief clerk. There is a deal of difference.
Not in my eyes, there isn't, Mr. Harris. He is an employee.
And you sold him our house.
He paid in cash. And now, if you'll excuse me.
A clerk living in our house.
But how? where would a man like that get that amount of money?
Exactly. Elizabeth doesn't pay him that well.
I need some fresh air. Not now, son, not now.
Mother? William's just given me the prospectus for the nautical school he went to, and I was wondering
Not
if you...
now, Samuel, dear, not now.
Next. Name?
Adolphus Craig.
Age?
31.
I know you.
I've never worked for you, Mr. Bence.
Oh, you worked for Mrs. Fraser, though, didn't you? Till you got tossed out for a thief and a drunk. Well, it's Belfast and back, Craig, Iron Plate, Sable Seaman, £2. Take it or leave it.
£2?
Yeah, there are not many masters as generous as me.
Look, I've got a wife and 2 children. How do you expect
All
me
right, out.
All right, Mr. Bence. I'll do it.
Make your mark there. Good. Up on deck. Report to the mate.
Right. Let me see that list of names, will you, Baines? You signed this man?
Kirk? Yes, sir. I know he's nothing to write home about.
No, he's a shifty little rat.
Yeah, I know that, but I have to take what I can get on this Belfast run.
Word's got around, is it?
It has that. Superstitious lot, sailors.
Well, I'm not superstitious. Are you, Baines?
No. And if I get rid of Kirk, I'll be short-handed.
All right, then. You signed him. He's your responsibility.
Aye, aye, sir.
When will they be finished loading?
Early tomorrow morning. We can sail on the noontide.
Well, gives me some time to make some inquiries.
Letty,
Yes?
will you tell me something?
Well, if I can.
When you were my age, did you have an admirer?
Hundreds. They used to come from miles around us to sing under my balcony.
Oh, stop joking, but did you?
Oh, bless you, child. When I was your age, I was out at work. I never seemed to have any time. Mind you, there were 2. They were just lads. I remember that one of them, I can't for the life of me think which, used to bring me chamomile flowers.
As a posy?
No, silly, to wash my hair with. My mother used to make a potion out of the flowers, and then I'd rinse my hair with it. I had very fragrant hair in those days. Now, what's all this talk about admirers?
Nothing. I just wondered whether you had, that's all.
I see. Of course, now we're living closer, you'll see a lot more of Samuel and William, won't you?
Yes.
William's a nice boy.
Yes. Of course, Samuel's great fun to be with, but...
But?
Well, William's much more grown up.
I see.
I think I'll go to bed now.
Sweet dreams.
Letty, now that we're all living in the house together, are you going to marry Father?
Bless you, child. Whoever gave you that idea? Besides which, he hasn't asked me.
But are you?
Wait and see.
I wouldn't mind if you did.
Wouldn't you?
No, you'd be more like an older sister than a stepmother.
Go on, go to bed.
Night, Letty.
Good night, love.
Come on, get on with it, you overfed, overpaid loafers. There'll be no breakfast for anyone unless we're finished by 8 o'clock. Where do you think you're going? Well?
To chuck up below, sir.
I'll tell you when I want the cargo chopped. Now, you stay topside.
Aye, aye, Mr. Baines.
Morning, Samson.
Oh, morning, Ned. I
made the inquiry she wanted. I may say you're asking a lot. These matters are confidential.
Well, where my ships are concerned, I don't give a damn. Now, what did you find out?
2 insurance companies have just issued large policies in the Charlotte Roads. One was for £5,000, which must surely be 3 times what she's worth.
Who took them out?
Well, they couldn't tell me.
Oh, come on.
They
man.
couldn't have needed. They were probably under false names, and in any case, they're placed through middlemen. And there's no way you can...
Gentlemen, I greatly regret having to announce that we've just heard that the steamship De Quincey foundered and sank with all hands 2 hours out of Belfast this morning.
Where does that leave you, Onedin?
A highly profitable cargo of iron plates for Belfast.
Oh, damn it, you're not going now, surely.
Aye.
I think you're a fool.
I'm also up to my eyes in debt. I need the money.
Well, I wish you well.
Thank you, sir.
I hear you're just up on the Belfast run.
I'll be sailing within the hour.
Lucky you're not married.
Well, the new thing's quite good.
Oh, I'm sure you'll do well, I'm sure.
£20? But why?
Housekeeping.
Well, I won't need that much. You'll only be gone a week at most.
Well, I might be delayed.
Oh?
Storm, something like that. Hey, is Charlotte at home?
No, she's at your sister-in-law's. But then she didn't know you were sailing. No more did I.
Pity. I'd like to have seen her.
Well, she's getting quite used to that by now. Anyway, you'll be back in no time, I'm sure.
Oh, of course. Now, Miss Gaunt, you realise that this house is in my name?
Yes.
What I mean is it's not part of the Onedin line assets. It's mine. Unencumbered.
Yes.
So, come what may, they can't take it away. You and Charlotte will always have somewhere to live.
Well, so will you, James, unless you're planning to move out.
Huh? No, of course not. And another thing. And Mrs. Gibson will be calling. Now, she comes highly recommended, and I want you to hire her as a housekeeper.
James, I believe you do this quite deliberately. We get to this point, and then you change the subject. Well, I refuse to be treated like some child's rag doll to be picked up and put down when you please. Time and again we get to this point, and then you back away.
Miss Gaunt.
James, I'm talking about you and me. And Charlotte. She knows how we feel about one another. Well, maybe a lady shouldn't talk about such things, and perhaps I'm not a lady. But it isn't fair to her, and it certainly isn't fair to me.
Lydia, I'll sail in less than an hour.
Well, you silly man. You could propose in 1 minute, and I promise you I'd say yes.
When I get back from Ireland.
I'll not be here.
Well, I hope you will be. I'll explain then.
Oh, go and get on your damn ship.
But don't you think, Mother, if I'm to work at Fraser's, I should know something about business?
When you're old enough, you'll be allowed on the floor of the exchange.
Yes, but in the meantime, I could be learning something useful, like bookkeeping.
There are clerks to do all that. What are my gloves? Donkey work is not for you, William.
I just thought it might help, that's all. I want to do something useful.
And so you shall.
Yes, but now.
You still have another year to go at mathematical school. I'm going to be late for my dressmakers.
Mother.
We'll talk again at dinner.
But, Mother.
Is my sister in?
No, sir. A business appointment. Oh, Mr. Onedin, if you could spare a moment, sir.
I'm not sure that I care to.
Oh, I think it might be to your advantage. It's about your house.
Well. Well?
Well, first of all, sir, may I say how much I regret your taking it so much amiss, my buying your house?
I think you will regret it more than I, Mr. Dunwoody, and so will your wife. I think it is a mistake attempting to move out of your social class.
Oh, I don't intend to live there.
You don't?
Oh, no, sir. I bought it as an investment, and my intention is to let it.
Is it indeed?
On a 7-year lease. Well, sir, I hope you won't feel I'm being too presumptuous, but I wondered if perhaps you and Mrs. Onedin might be interested.
If you're suggesting, Mr. Dunwoody, that Mrs. Onedin and I could tolerate you being our landlord...
Only in name, sir.
How much?
£200 per annum.
200 for a 7-year lease? That's... Mr. Dunwoody, that is...
That is good business, sir.
Never known a fairer crossing, sir. The old Charlotte roads is humming like a bird.
What last?
It never does, not in the Irish Sea.
Darkening up towards the northwest. We'll get to Belfast, all right. It's the return trip that's going to be the rough one. Baines is Kirk behaving himself.
He's been fine, sir. Mind, I've barely let him out of my sight.
Barely.
Perhaps once or twice. I haven't got eyes in the back of my head.
Captain, I want you to go below decks and search every inch. I'm sure he's done something.
You really think that's necessary, sir?
Yes, I do. Too innocent by half. I'd like you to go now, Captain, if you please.
Aye, aye, sir. Onedin, sir. I think you'd better come along to the after hold. Half sawn through and filled up again with sawdust and pitch.
Mizzenmast. Cut through right at the foot. So she splits. Right at the bottom.
It's all right in fair weather and a day like this. One good gale, she'd split apart like an old walnut.
Right. Put it all back, Baines.
Back, sir?
So nobody can tell.
My God, if I could get my hands on it.
You'll leave him be.
What, sir?
Luke, I want to find out who's behind all this. Kirk's not clever enough to have planned all this himself. Now, the man that paid Kirk paid the premiums on those policies. So it's all smiles, eh? Use a bit of guile.
And there was the answer staring at me from this morning's paper.
Well, don't keep me in suspense. Read it.
Governess required. Immediate vacancy, good references essential. 3 children, own quarters, staff kept. Sir Charles Helsby.
Sir Charles Helsby?
Do you know him?
Yes, we've built several ships for him. He's a millionaire.
Oh, I don't know. It's just that I'm so miserable at home.
James is a thoughtless wretch. But then he was the same with Anne.
I'm that fond of Charlotte. I worry how she'd take my going.
Well, she could go and stay with Aunt Mary. She's always pleased to have her.
Yes, that's true. Oh, I don't know what's best.
I know James. And if anything will bring him to his senses, this will. You apply for that position, Letty, and I will write you a glowing testimonial.
Maid and she was mistress of her trade. I long forever roving with you, fair maid. I roving will be my life.
One bosun reporting for duty, sir.
He's been enjoying himself.
I stuck with him through every gin house in Belfast. He could no more get away from me than a fish could whistle.
Aye, well, stick him in the cabin. I've a mind to see his face when the light dawns.
Take it steady.
Sure to have left something. I always do. I'm that forgetful I forget my head if I wasn't tied on. Oh, sweetheart, you shouldn't have. Here, I've got something for you too. What? Oh, now don't be silly. Come on, Charlotte. Now, you'll write to me.
Every day. And you have got Aunt Mary's address.
Of course I have. Come on.
Good morning, Mr. Kirk. Sleep well, did you?
What's going on?
We're underway. You're in the saloon of the Charlotte Rose, going back to Liverpool.
How far from land?
Oh, about half a mile. Straight down. About 20 miles off the coast of Ireland. Norrie's still pushing us around a bit, but then you've got to expect that in the middle of the Irish Sea, haven't you? Come you enjoyed yourself in Belfast, didn't you?
Mr. Baines is here?
Oh, Mr. Baines is on deck. Now, Mr. Baines said a peculiar thing to me yesterday. He said you were trying to slip ship. Now, what do you think about that?
I think I ought to report for duty, sir.
Oh, I think you ought to stay right here. Now, I made a few inquiries about you in Belfast. Oh, but you've been had some lucky escapes this year, eh?
Eh?
Well, the Nantucket. You were signed as bosun onto her, weren't you? Nice little bark. Yes. Went down with all hands just off the coast of Anglesey. She had a cargo of iron plates.
I was never on that vessel, sir.
No, I know you weren't.
Oh, no, sir. I signed on, but, well, I got a better offer, so I jumped ship before we sailed.
Ah. What about the Daviot, then? Did you jump her, too?
Oh, I don't know nothing about any Daviot, sir.
Ah, well, she went down, and you were signed onto her as well.
Oh, no, sir, that's a mistake, sir. I was never signed on the Daviot, sir.
Excuse me, sir. The wind's getting stronger and turning westerly.
Right, then put on some more canvas, Captain Baines.
Aye, sir.
Set the mizzen gaff topsail and the main gaff topsail, will you? Don't want to be too long getting back to Liverpool, do we, eh?
Very good, sir.
I go, it puts a terrific strain on a ship. All that canvas in a storm. Still,
I expect the Charlotte Rose was built strong enough to take it, don't you think, Mr. Kirk?
Aye, aye, sir.
Aye.
She is.
How did you come to have so much money on you, Mr. Kirk?
Well, it was all me savings, wasn't it?
Ah, so you remember where I mean then, eh?
Oh, yes, sir. Outside that grog shop in Liverpool.
Yeah, that's right. Baines said you must have had 40 guineas on you or more. Now, that's a hell of a lot of money for a drunken bosun.
Yeah, well, I saved her up these 10 years, sir. That's nothing wrong, sir.
Ever hear about gambling policies, Mr. Kirk? You know, betting on seamen drowning, ships going down. Well, it's only a short step from that to making sure they go down. Just needs to spring a couple of timbers, you know. Missing has to be torn away and it goes down like stones.
Ah, but who'd do that, sir? They'd be drowned.
Not if they did it in the fine weather. Thought they could jump ship before it got rough. And they'd save their miserable skins, wouldn't they? But what I want to know, Kirk, is who puts them up to it?
Topsail and the main gaff topsail.
What? A gale like this?
Service no need guns.
You hear those timbers creaking all around you? I don't suppose the old Charlotte Rose has had a strain put on her like that since she was built.
Captain Onedin, sir.
Yes, Mr. Kirk.
You've got to take some sailing.
Oh?
Or she's split.
Why's that then? I said, why is that?
I cut some of the timber, sir. Oh, for God's sake, get the canvas off or we'll all drown.
What timbers? Where?
At the heel of the mizzenmast and 3 planks in the aft hold. I covered the cuts with pitch.
Is that what you did to the other ships too, Kirk?
I don't know nothing about any other ships.
I said, is that what you did to the other ships?
Yes.
Who paid you? Who paid those premiums? Now you tell me about God.
I can't. I can't tell you that. Oh, for God's sake, take some sailing, sir.
You have to hold, you said, hey? Right, I'm taking you there, and I'm gonna chain you to the mizzenmast.
No.
Who paid you? Who paid you?
Macaulay!
Oh, the humiliation.
Now, Sarah. It can all look very nice when it's attended to. We'll have it all cleaned up and decorated. We'll have an attractive wallpaper and you'll have your own furniture. Some flowers, perhaps.
But over the shop, Robert. It's as if the last 20 years had all been for nothing.
All these model ships.
They're Samuel's.
Did you make this one?
I imagine so.
Well.
I'll have to resign from all my committees. It's that brother of yours, he's to blame.
Can you read, Kirk?
Yes, sir.
States here that Macaulay put you up to cutting the timbers and paid you for it. Now, that's what you said, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Not under duress. That means that we didn't force you.
No, sir.
Right then. Sign it. Captain Baines, kindly witness that, will you?
Right, sir. There, sir. Where shall we keep him?
We have to hold, I think.
Now, you stay down here in the dock until we dock.
Had her repaired while you were celebrating in Belfast. Risk the Charlotte Roads for someone like you.
As soon as we dock, I'll turn him over to the police.
Oh. We'll let some of his friends in the Royal Anchor hear about this. And he'll get justice. Seaman's justice.
I've told you time and time again not to let anyone into that office without consulting me first. And the fact that he told you he was a friend of Mrs. Fraser's is no excuse. Friend, indeed. Madam.
Yes?
Madam. Daniel Fogarty's in there.
Charlotte? Scones! Letty?